Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be walking you through how to increase show-up rates by maximizing the skill of DM setters or any kind of appointment setter. So booking a call is only half the job. An appointment that doesn't show up has a value of $0. Elite DM setters don't measure the success by how many they book. They measure success by qualified people showing up ready to buy. Here's how the best teams consistently achieve high show rates. So that's what we're going to look at in this video. So the foundation mindset. Stop trying to qualify, start trying to disqualify. Most setters are desperate to book calls. Elite setters are looking for reasons not to book them. The more aggressively you filter out weak prospects, the stronger your calendar becomes. Every bad booking steals a slot from a great prospect. Ask yourself these 5 questions before offering any appointment. Is this person actually serious? Can they afford the solution? Are they committed to solving this? Are they likely to show up? Are they coachable? If the answer to all of these things are negative, then you don't want them there at all, right? For example, they may have the money, but if they're not coachable, then they're not taking it seriously. They could be a millionaire, but if they're not taking it seriously, they're not a good lead, right? They have to check all the boxes. So you want to go from trying to qualify people to disqualifying people as much as possible, because most setters try to qualify, and what that tends to cause is people who are just on your calendar who are not really qualified truly, right? They may be qualified in terms of answering questions, but they're not actually going to make good buys and they're not ready to buy. You know, your setter has just given them a bunch of yes questions to qualify them, when really you need to disqualify them as much as possible. So ask questions that require investment. The more someone invests in a conversation, the more committed they become. Avoid surface level questions that require a one-word answer. Go deeper. Make them think, reflect, and articulate their pain. So some questions might be something like, what's stopping you from achieving your goal today? Why is now the right time? What have you already tried? What happens if nothing changes over the next 12 months? Why do you believe this is worth solving now? The more effort a prospect puts into answering, the more psychologically invested they become, and the more likely they are to show up and follow through. If we just have a conversation that's just a bunch of yes, 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 no, yes, yes, no, yes, just a bunch of yes, no's, they're not really going to show up to the call, because they're not really invested in the conversation. They need to be invested in the convo with you. Only book people who actually want the call. Never sell the appointment. Never sell the appointment. The call should feel like a logical next step, not something you had to convince them to do. Before you offer a time slot, make sure the prospect already believes in these 3 things. So number 1 is they have a real problem. So they've acknowledged the pain clearly and feel a sense of urgency to solve it. Next is you understand it. They feel genuinely heard and trust that you've grasped the full picture. Next is your coach can help. They believe the call is the right vehicle to get them the result they want. If they aren't convinced of these 3 things, keep building the value in the call. Rushing to book a call before belief is established is the fastest way to create a no-show rate. They have to believe all these 3 things, and then likelihood of them getting on a call is going to be 90% or higher. So get multiple commitment statements. One confirmation isn't enough. Elite setters create several deliberate moments where the prospect actively commits out loud. Each additional yes increases psychological investment and makes it socially costly to cancel. Aim for at least 2 clear verbal confirmations before ending the conversation. People naturally try to stay consistent with what they've already agreed to, so use that to your advantage. So you want to say something like, does tomorrow at 3 p.m. work for you? They can say yes. Can I count on you to be there? They can say yes. Awesome, I'll expect to see you at 3 p.m. Looking forward to it. Something like this sets a little bit, just a percentage, even if it's just 5% more, a little bit more expectation of them, for them not to let you down, right? And if they don't show up, you don't even want to follow up with them, because probably 9 times out of 10, they're going to be a bad lead that they couldn't even give you a heads up or not show up at all. So set clear expectations for the call. Uncertainty kills show rates. When prospects don't know what to expect, doubt creeps in, and doubt becomes a reason not to show up to the call. Eliminate all the uncertainty entirely by telling them exactly what will happen, who they'll speak to. Introduce the coach or the closer by name. Make the prospect feel they're meeting someone, not a stranger. Make it seem like an actual meeting with a person. Personalize it as much as possible. Personalize it. Make it feel like they're meeting a person. They're going to have a meeting with Alex, Bob, Jim, whatever the name is. They're having a meeting with that person. Here's their picture. Here's the guy or the girl or whoever that you're going to be meeting with on the call. So what they'll learn, give them a compelling reason to attend. Outcome focused. Framing makes the call feel worth their time. Okay, so you're focused on what they're going to learn from the call. They know who they're going to be speaking to, and now they know as well what they're going to be learning. Now you also want to tell them how long it's going to last. So you want to make sure you're setting clear expectations for the time, the duration, respect for their schedule, builds trust and reduces last minute dropouts, because you're saying, okay, when can we make this work for you, right? What to prepare. So ask them to bring something, notes, numbers, or a goal. Preparation creates commitment before they even dial in. So you want to have them fulfill something and do something before they get on the call. Have them write something down or fill out a form or do something that basically gives them a level of buy-in that you need to do this, right, before we talk. And if you say to them or strongly advise them to do this now while the information is fresh in their head, you can basically increase the show-up rate because you're getting more and more buy-in and you're increasing their trust. You're making it personal of who they're going to speak to, and you're getting them to buy in with their time. So build a reminder system across multiple platform channels. People are busy. Even highly motivated prospects forget appointments. Your reminder system should make forgetting almost impossible. And it should operate across every channel you have access to. Don't rely on email alone. Combine email, SMS, calendar invites, DM reminders. People ignore different channels at different times. Using several channels dramatically increases the chances they see at least one message. A missed call costs far more than the small risk of seeming repetitive or slightly annoying, right? Immediately after booking, confirm email and calendar invite. 48 hours before, email reminder with a call detail. 24 hours before, SMS plus a reminder, a DM reminder, and an email. 6 hours before, an email nudge. And then 60 minutes before to 20 minutes before, you send a quick SMS and a DM ping. If you can get their number, that's even better, because it means you can do email reminders and SMS reminders. So keep them emotionally engaged after the booking. The biggest mistake setters make is disappearing after the appointment is booked. The excitement that motivates someone to say yes fades quickly, and silence from your end accelerates that fade. Send useful resources. Share a case study, a short video, a relevant insight that reinforces their decision to attend. So you want to share case studies, short videos, or relevant insights that reinforce their decision to attend, as I said. So the next thing is celebrate their decision. Affirm that booking was the right move. Positive reinforcement makes cancelling feel like a step backwards. Answering questions, stay available. Quick responses between booking and call time signal that you're invested in their outcome. Remind them why they booked. Every interaction should reconnect them with their goal and reinforce that the call is the path to it. Treat every no-show as a system failure. Elite teams don't simply blame the prospect, they investigate. A no-show is diagnostic data, a signal that something is in the process is broken down. If your show rate drops, don't assume the market changed. Audit the process first. Run through this diagnostic checklist after every no-show. So after every no-show, you want to think, were they genuinely qualified or not? Did we rush the booking? Did they understand the value of the call? Did we meet enough commitment statements? Do they receive every reminder? Did they confirm before the appointment that they're going to show up? Did we have enough reminders on? Did we send them any resources after the call was booked? Did we give them an action step to follow before the call or after they've made the booking? Have we personalized and told them who they're going to be talking to? And did we disqualify them enough, right? So you want to go through all those things. If someone doesn't show up, But if you cover all the things I've told you, you're going to have very high show rates. Optimize for revenue, not booking rate. The highest booking rate isn't always the highest revenue. You could fill a calendar with low quality prospects and still lose money. Elite setters know the difference between a busy calendar and a profitable calendar. An elite setter would rather book 15 high qualified appointments that all show up than 30 weak appointments where half of them disappear. That's how a real client acquisition team thinks. So, the elite mindset. Average setters celebrate bookings, elite setters celebrate attended calls and closed clients, even though they have no control over the closed client, or they have some indirect control. World-class client acquisition teams celebrate closed deals. Everything between the first DM and the sales call should serve one purpose: increasing the prospect's certainty that showing up is the right decision. The average setter celebrates booked calls, measures success by volume, blames no-shows on the prospect. Elite setter celebrates the attended call, measures success by show rates only, and audits the system after every no-show. A world-class team celebrates the closed deals, optimizes for revenue per appointment, builds calendars full of qualified prospects ready to buy. So guys, if you take care of all those things that I mentioned, if you strongly disqualify, you personalize who they're going to be meeting with, so they know who they're going to be meeting with Joe or with Bob or Charlie, Bucket, whoever, right? So the action step is something that you tell them to do. Once they book the call, you're going to say you're going to do this, 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 and this. Make it easy to do, but make it so that they can invest that, okay, I've done this, now I'm probably going to have to show up to the call because I've invested in this. I've given it my time. And also you want to send reminders after the booking. So make sure 48 hours before, 24 hours before, 12 hours before, 6 hours before, 2 hours before, 20 minutes before. Okay? So you want to make sure all those reminders are up. And also you want to send resources after booking as well. You want to make sure you've sent something for them to look at. Maybe a case study, maybe something to prepare, So there's a lot you can do. And if you implement all of these things across your business, you're going to see a much higher show rate. But it all starts, I'd say 90% is in strongly disqualifying people. You can kick out 90% of people who are not going to be good leads. And that's going to fix 90% of the problem. But if you want to do even better than that, then the things I just mentioned, you want to do those things as well. So if you want help doing that, you want help hiring setters, or you want help building an appointment setting system, then you can click the link in the bio and I can help you with that. If you need us to build it for you, we can build it for you. And if you need coaching on how to do it, I can also do that for you as well. See you in the next video.